Who's ready to play Dead Rising?
It's finally here. I've been ready to play this thing since it was announced months ago. This is a remake of the original Dead Rising on the Xbox 360 in 2006. Man, I can't believe it's been almost 20 years since we last played this. In case you haven't played this before, let me ask you this. What would you say if I told you there's a game that plays like Dawn of the Dead, complete with mall survivors and massive amounts of zombies on screen at all time, and pretty much everything you see in the mall can be used as a weapon to mow down said zombies? I know, I wouldn't believe it either, it just sounds too incredible. But it's real, and what's more, it's very playable on the Steam Deck. Which, given the enormous amount of zombies on screen, I wasn't so sure of. But before we talk performance, let's talk a little bit about the game itself, because it's just pure, unadulterated fun. Let me tell you a little secret. I actually wasn't the biggest fan of the first Dead Rising. I loved the premise of the game. Like I said, it's like playing Dawn of the Dead, the original with the slow-moving zombies, and especially in the 360 era, hundreds of zombies on screen was unheard of, and the game totally had me sold. The part I didn't like was the main gameplay mechanic Dead Rising is going for itself, and even in this remake still has. Here's what's going on. The zombie apocalypse has broken out but has been contained by the military. Frank West, a journalist, charters a helicopter to cover the story and gets dropped off at the local mall and has 72 hours to get his ass back to the roof of the mall, or it's game over for him and coincidentally us. I think you probably see my problem. Everything in the game revolves around time limits. You get news of a new survivor, better go get him because in 10 minutes he'll be feet up. Story event, better make sure you're at the right spot in the right time or you're going to miss a large part of what's going on. What this means, and this is where it always gets me, is that you're going to have to prioritize, aka people are going to die. You won't be able to get everybody, and man do I hate it. Just in a few hours I played the game on the Steam Deck, I got a number of survivors killed and had some serious thoughts of reloading an earlier game to see if I could do better. This stuff is stressful, man. But to be honest, where in 2006 I pretty much quit when I lost my first few survivors, I actually enjoy the mechanic much more now. It's a way for them to push the plot forward and keep you on your toes, pushing you to get out there and take on those thousands of zombies. Plus, since you really can't do everything in one go, there's a good deal of replayability. Oh, hi Mom. Gameplay wise, the remaster doesn't change much. You level Frank by taking pictures of events, scenes and zombies, which is a fun little side activity to take a quick break from the eviscerating of zombies and bosses. Also, killing zombies, helping other survivors and just uncovering what the heck is going on all help you get points, which in turn level Frank. For every few levels Frank gets, he'll also get a new skill. From walking over zombies, breaking free, a judo kick to a judo throw. There are a lot of them and they all feel good to use. Having said that, Frank West still controls like a couch through a corn maze. That's to say, he's a bit cumbersome. Hitting and shooting feel good, but maneuvering and getting out of the way quick sometimes leaves something to be desired. That said, there is a good dodge roll that helps. But here's where I think Dead Rising really shines. There is just a lot of variety in the game. Here's my top 3. Lots of cool events and things to do. Okay, I complained about the time limits earlier, but it really sets the tone and gives you something to do and work towards. And make no mistake, getting those survivors to safety is no easy feat. Number 2, boss battles. There are some really cool boss battles in this game. From psychopath convicts in a Hummer to a clown juggling chainsaws. They're all surprising and interesting. Bonus, the mall itself is also amazing. There's so much to see and do and literally each store you see can be visited. It even has a freaking roller coaster. And number 1, this has to be the weapons of course. Almost every item you see can be used as a weapon in some capacity. But man, using a chainsaw on a horde of zombies is still one of the most satisfying things you'll do in any game. And speaking of satisfying, let's talk graphics and performance. This is a remaster in the truest sense of the word, meaning the graphics update is the main improvement aside from a few quality of life improvements. But the graphics do look so much better than the original. I mean, look at this. And like I mentioned before, it runs pretty decent on the Steam Deck. With FSR and quality and the graphics preset, we get anywhere between between 28 to 40 frames per second, even when things get super hectic on the screen. Playing around with some of the performance settings gives you maybe 5 to 10 more frames in some cases, and I've even seen some frame rates as high as 50, but never up to that sweet 60 frames per second. I also tried maxing out all the settings just because, but that just crashed my Steam Deck every time, so don't do that. All in all, I'd say this is very playable on the Steam Deck, plus it's a budget title, so you can pick it up for $50. This game is fun. If you've never tried it, now's the time to pick it up. Check here for my review of Space Marines, or here for Wukong. Both are great action games, and I hope to see you in the next one.